We are back with plenty more Hearthstone action, live from Seoul in South Korea. There's been a lot of very exciting matches so far, the expected and the unexpected in terms of decks and deck representation. We just saw a pretty disgusting mage mirror between Casey and his opponent, which was a little bit disgusting to watch. Saimiao getting a very, very disgusting draw there.
I feel like you didn't say disgusting enough. I feel like I need to take a shower right now.
Okay.
Like after watching those games,
Filthy.
I'm just like, okay, I gotta.
However, we're taking a slight break from that. I'm not sure if it's a mage mirror. We do have one undefeated player so far. We're taking a look at him. I'm not sure if we've actually seen him on stream.
I don't believe he actually has
far.
appeared on stream just yet, but he's currently 9-0.
Yes.
So the sole remaining undefeated player in the tournament, it is, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, Zhym.
We'll get confirmation on that. It may just be Jim, and that's how you end up pronouncing it. But
got Jim Hopper on stream.
Yeah, well, I would pay to watch that. Good lord.
He plays Hearthstone. Not Jim Hopper, because Hearthstone didn't exist in the 80s when Stranger Things was set.
Yes.
But David Harbour does.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's very cool. But he is going to be up against Magoho, two French players that I didn't actually know all too much about heading into this, and they've been doing very, very well indeed. I had my money on Kallax to do pretty well, maybe Tars after a pretty good start. But I'm glad that we're seeing a lot of the French players do a little bit better. I feel like they haven't had as much recognition as they needed heading into this year with the new Grandmasters and Masters Tour system. But Zhym, however, clearly starting to pull his weight.
And he is playing Mage here. I believe it is the Reno Mage deck, as we see the Siamat, Cairn, and Kartut Defender in the hand. Magoho we have seen on camera a couple of times already. He is playing kind of hybrid control Bomb Warrior,
which I think is a reasonable deck to be bringing. One of the things we, I suppose, well, a lot of players will already have known, but I learned over the course of Grandmasters was truly realizing the aggressive potential of Bomb Warrior. Sure. Just the fact that it is so, it was pigeonholed into being a control deck, but a lot of the time it can just curve out so aggressively. And now with the addition of a couple of extra cards in Saviors of Uldum, like Restless Mummy in particular, it can really just curve out with whether or not your opponent develops or not, and start to dominate the mid-game.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen many people, speaking of dominating the mid-game, that's a big one. Crucially, 4/7 doesn't die to even both halves of Mummy. Would require a swing of their Wrench Caliber as well. I haven't really seen people playing Bomb Warrior that actually also tries to utilize like the Flunky Armadillo package, which gives you even more options to sort of curve out. And I'd be curious to sort of see a take on that.
Yeah, I wonder what you'd be cutting in that kind of list, because that
late game stuff. You'd be cutting. I've heard people even talk about cutting Dr. Boom.
Really? Because you're just going for like a mid-game tempo.
I could see cutting, because if you're not playing that many mechs, maybe you're cutting assemblies. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, it's the game that's actually happening right here, not just our theory regarding how to build Bomb Warrior. Zhym does have pretty solid hold on this game. Splitting Image is, I think, the pick here to try and protect his minions. Mummy not super exciting into this, but maybe the best option. Does end up full trading with this play if there is indeed the Splitting Image, which there is. And then now, Cairn Bloodhoof available to Zhym next turn, so just a sticky minion that's going to give Magoho some trouble dealing with it, and obviously works pretty well with that Conjurer's Calling in hand. Yeah,
traditionally the bane of Warrior. Haha.
The haha really ruined it.
Sorry, can I try again? Can I have a do of it?
Okay.
The bane of Warrior for a long time.
That was better.
Yeah. It kind of seems cute at this point that this was once considered like the ultimate tech card against Warrior, considering everything that Warrior can do now in terms of removal with Dr. Boom thrown into the mix as well. But it's still going to be a very reasonable way to lock down board control, which is crucial against Bomb Warrior, because even if this kind of mid-game offensive doesn't outright win the game for Zhym, it will definitely allow him to just not lose, which is pretty important in most matchups.
Do you know what Cairn says when you play him against Garrosh?
You are not fit to rule the Horde?
That is correct.
No idea what it means. Haven't played Warcraft, but I assume they're both trying to be the boss of some organization.
I mean, the Horde? You don't know what the Horde is?
I know what the Horde is.
Okay. It is some organization?
I'm not.
That's all it is to you?
Sorry.
All right. Well, this is a tough spot for Magoho here because that Wind Fury Tiamat really threatens to do a lot of damage. So going to go ahead and double Warpath to clear things up. And I think that he had considered playing the Dynamatic there, but there was of course the risk that it did not actually do the job, and he just took 12.
Yeah, clearly very on the fence as well as to whether to use the last echoed copy of Warpath or just gain the 2 armor. If it killed it, it wouldn't really be much of a consideration because he would want to get the Dynamatic to finish off the second half.
That's a lot of stats.
Yeah, this, however, worked out pretty horrendously.
And there's 2 minions that get bounced by Barista here. The Bloodstinger and the Mossy Whore both getting copies into the hand here. And
Bloodstinger is actually pretty insane against Bomb Warrior.
The Wild Bloodstinger can knock out a Omega Devastator from the hand. It can remove their removal. And it's already just a 6/9 body on the board. That is nice. Brawl, going to clear things off. Does leave Bane.
This is still reasonable for Magoho. This is a very salvageable position for the moment. I think he just needs to make sure that as much as possible he doesn't run out of just value, just stuff to do.
Yep.
But unfortunately for him, the Wild Bloodstinger is going to make pretty quick work of stuff in his hand.
Ooh, okay.
Wow, these are pretty reasonable options.
It's the, what is it? Gilnan Royal Guard. That's the name of that card. And it was something Royal Guard, and I was blanking on exactly what.
You got there. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Thanks. Shield block for Magoho. Going to dig here. But yeah, just trying to keep up with Conjurer's Calling and big minions as a removal deck is so hard.
Yes.
And frankly, one of the reasons that Bomb Warrior was often the sort of go-to version of Warrior that players choose, Magoho has kind of a hybrid version, but he's drawn a lot of the sort of control half of the deck and not that much in terms of the bombs. And he is well and truly behind here. Frostbolt, the Evocation, just going to Ray of Frost his own minions here just to get more fireballs. Yeah. And I think that might just be all she wrote.
I think it will be. I was wondering if he'd go for the cute play of not attacking and then freezing, because then it instantly unfreezes at the end of your turn.
Just want the damage right
now.
Yeah,
I think the damage is much more important. And it basically just forces Magoho to go for a complete board clear, hope that one of the 5 health minions survives after Brawl, and then Dynamatic or... I guess he's got the Devastator.
But the problem is he's just dead to Fireball if he does that.
Yes, he is. So then I guess the play is just to concede.
That's not a bad one. I mean, that's the play we're going to see, is Brawl into concede, basically, or Brawl into get Fireball to death.
Yeah. Zhym here kind of showing a very kind of style of play with the Reno Mage we haven't seen all too much this weekend, of just playing out your stuff. Yeah, it's just pretty good to get there.
Well, specifically, this I don't know if it's a secondary, tertiary deck that he has with Karin. We saw just how powerful it was, giving him the ability to use the Conjurer's Calling and retain board presence. And now, got some solid results from it, but more importantly, just has these fireballs that are going to close out the game. Reno, totally unnecessary. Antonitis gets the job done.
Zhym moving on to a 10-0 record, our only undefeated player here. I'm not even sure how many players there are left on 9-1. I know that Dead Draw got through on the 9-1 record with his Control Warrior.
Yeah, I believe that this should lock Zhym for the elimination rounds. There's only 2 rounds to go.
10-2,
10 wins. I believe that should make him, not officially, but at least effectively our first player moving through to the top 8.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much locked in with, even if he goes down to 10-2 and is met with a few other 10-2 players, he's going to have the best tiebreakers because of getting all the wins at the start, which is, big congratulations to him. We haven't seen him all too much on stream, so I'm not sure what it is that he's doing right that all the other Reno Mages perhaps were not doing right. Maybe it has something to do with a certain card, but we'll find out, as I'm sure we'll get to see more of him progressing on through to our top 16 and our finals tomorrow in the stadium. But before we get through to that, we have a couple more rounds of Swiss to be doing with today, which we will be watching right after a short break.